Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Today, we have the Sig Romeo 4XT-PRO, which is basically the new hot red dot from Sig that basically does everything you want it to do, except for be cheap. Now, getting into full disclosure on the Sig 4XT Romeo Pro is that I don't really have any relationship with Sig whatsoever. I've met some of the guys at the Gathering last year, and I've used a lot of their red dots. I tend to like their red dots. In fact, the Romeo 8T is actually my favorite red dot to use, and this basically has all of those features for less cost, size, and weight. Now, this is not my 4XT Romeo Pro Sig. This was actually sent in by a customer. This is on a build that I assembled for a kind gentleman, and he said that I could go ahead and do a review on the red dot. Now, with that being said, he did not want me to do drop testing on it with his very expensive red dot and his very expensive Unity riser, so I did not do drop testing on this optic, though we're going to be doing some interesting durability testing later on. Not on this optic specifically, but on small Aimpoint T1, T2 style of optics. Now, getting into just what is the Romeo Sig XT-PRO 4, this is an Aimpoint T1, T2 style of red dot that has just about every feature possible packed into this tiny 20mm body. Now, starting out with controls, up top we have our plus and our minus button for adjusting the brightness. We have 9 daylight settings and 3 night vision settings. You also have a dedicated night vision button that allows you to instantly switch to your last daylight or of course your last night vision setting as well, and you can still run through the entire brightness range if you so desire. On the right hand side of the body we have a battery tray or a battery holder for our AAA battery. This is not using a 2032 or some other style of battery. This is the very common, very ubiquitous, very cheap AAA battery. Battery life is rated at 50,000 hours at a medium setting. However, of course, that is also comboed with their MOTAC technology, which is of course motion activated auto on, auto off technology. Now, in terms of our windage and elevation dials, they are of course both covered with the body itself and capped as well. I believe the increments are in half MOA, which is perfectly precise for a red dot. Now, speaking of the body is actually milled from 70-75, not 60-61. 70-75 has about double the strength to weight ratio of 60-61, so in general it is a much stronger material, much more durable as well, which again they are claiming that this is a military quality optic. Now, the mount that is included is a really well designed mount. They come in either 141 or 163 depending on whether or not you're using the riser plate that they include. However, of course, the option that I have is sitting on a super tall Unity riser. However, again, the mount that is included is quite well thought out. Now, they also come with see-through flip-up caps for your front and rear lenses, or of course, you can swap out the front one for a kill flash as seen here. Now, getting into the reticle, emitter, and glass quality, those sort of things. Now, getting into the reticle options on the Pro XT Romeo 4 Sig, we have 4 selectable options. The first, of course, being the standard 2 MOA dot. The second being the 2 MOA dot with holds for 4, 5, and 600 yards, which can help you out at distance. However, it is still not what I would consider to be easy, considering you're usually pairing it with just a 3x magnifier, and taking magnified shots at longer range can be a little bit difficult, especially with like a short-barreled 5.56 or whatever you happen to put it on. Now, of course, we have both of those options in conjunction with a 65 MOA outer ring, which gives us our 4 total settings. So basically pick the one that you like and go from there. Now, of course, keep in mind if you're using the full reticle with the 4 dots with the 65 MOA outer circle, that is going to reduce your battery life as of course you're powering more of the emitter. However, with the auto on, auto off technology, you're probably still getting a year, if not more, battery life. Now, getting into the glass quality, there is a very slight blue notch filter, what they call their dark or dark adaptive reticles and coatings, which is optimized for night vision devices. Now, I don't have night vision devices to test. However, I have heard that this optic performs very, very well when using it passively under night vision. I can't test it. I can't personally test to it. Again, that's just what I've heard. As far as for daylight shooting, it looks very good. There's no issues picking up targets. There's no sort of haze, distortion, or noticeable magnification. Again, it looks very good. As far as the emitter quality goes, the dots look very nice. They have a very, very constant refresh rate regardless of brightness setting. So as far as all of those go, you have excellent options for daylight, night vision. You have all the reticle options possible, and of course the glass quality itself is good. So when it comes to performance on the Pro XT Romeo 4 Sig, it doesn't have any misses. It's made out of the right material, 70-75 versus 60-61. It has all of the user settings for night vision or daylight settings, great reticle selection, great controls. Form factor comes in at about 7.5 ounces. Of course, whatever mount you choose or the stock mount is going to vary that a little bit. But as far as it goes, it does everything a Sig Romeo 8T does for about $100 to $200 less and about a half a pound lighter. Now, its next closest competitor is probably the venerable Aimpoint T2. However, the XT Pro Sig 4 Romeo has more features and it's about $200 less, and of course it comes with a mount. Now, there's nothing wrong with an Aimpoint T2 certainly, but it's undeniable that the new 4 Sig Romeo Pro XT has a few more features. Now, to do a quick switcheroo from the Romeo Sig 4 Pro XT, I'm actually going to talk about the upper that it's sitting on, because this is again a customer's upper that he sent in to me for me to assemble with some new parts. The new part being the HM Monoblock barrel, which I have gotten a lot of questions on. One, because Lead and Steel actually apparently bought the rights to sell it or something like that. I am not privy to the details of that deal. However, I know HM is manufacturing these monoblock barrels, Lead and Steel is selling them, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But the HM monoblock barrels are pretty darn good. They're kind of a weird hybrid profile, very heavy in the back, very light up front, so I guess you could say they are well balanced, and I know a lot of people do like that sort of thing. And of course, the biggest selling point is that the gas block, the very diminutive gas block, is machined into the barrel, meaning that you will never have the gas block come loose, be misaligned, anything like that, because of course it is part of the barrel itself. Now, this is a 14.5 mid, which I'm eventually pinning to a 16-inch legal length for the customer, and the gas port size is a .078. .078 is identical to a Ballistic Advantage Hansen 14.5, so no complaints there. Any 14.5 mid with a .078 gas port size is perfectly fine. This BCG is the Geisley RE BCG, which is a $350 BCG, and one of my favorites on the market, if not my favorite overall. Now, the upper receiver handguard combo, this is the LaRue set. So on the face of the upper receiver, you have this large machined section where the handguard actually bolts to the upper receiver directly. Not only is that incredibly secure, and the rail will of course never shift, but that also means that the barrel is 100% free-floated, because the handguard is not attached to the barrel nut, which is attached to the barrel. The handguard is actually attached directly to the upper receiver and doesn't really make contact with the barrel nut at all. Very interesting system from LaRue. Very nice. I do like that quite a bit. As far as the rail itself goes, 3-sided M-lock, full pick on top, no issues whatsoever. Now, getting back to the monoblock barrel, it is of course 4150 chrome moly vanadium steel, very good in terms of a hard duty use barrel. On top of that, it's also chrome lined, which is excellent. Phosphate exterior, very standard. 1-in-8 twist, perfectly fine. It's going to have a very, very soft accuracy curve throughout a wide variety of ammunition. Now, I wasn't able to put a ton of rounds through it because again, this is not my upper receiver, so I didn't really do any accuracy testing or anything like that, but the concept is certainly interesting and worth taking a look at if you're in this price category and looking for something a little bit different. But that's about it that I got for the video. Let me know what you guys think of the XT4 Romeo Sig Pro and of course the HM monoblock barrel. But with all that out of the way, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. God bless.